In a few minutes, you'll be hearing from Marissa Patricia. I'm saying her name like I don't know her because we just met. She's here in place of Kim Brito, and I really appreciate her speaking on behalf of the Department of Human Services today. You'll also be hearing from Kate Brewster, CEO at the Johnny Cake Center for Hope in Peacedale. So along with Kate, we have a number of other leaders from our food bank's partner organizations. We have 143 partner organizations across the state. They're the folks that run the food pantries and the meal sites, in addition to all the other services that they provide to their communities. So I want to welcome Debbie Thurston and Shauna Hyde from Tappan and Barrington, Gary and Lynn Rousseau from St. Patrick Food Pantry in Burrillville, Michelle Rivera from Progresso Latino in Central Falls, Paul Shore from Rycan in Charlestown, Bob Chappett from the Northern Rhode Island Food Pantry in Cumberland, Jim Carroll from the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, St. Philip in Greenville, Heather Strout from the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center in Newport, Stephen Souls from the North Kingstown Food Pantry, and from Providence, we have Jackie Watson from Your Neighborhood Food Pantry, Yvette Kenner from Macaulay House, Denise Green from the West End Community Center, Kim Fernandez from Federal Hill House, Kamara Mary Owusu from Community Action Partnership of Providence is also here, along with Paul Solera from West Bay Community Action Program in Warwick, Lee Eastbourne from the Johnny Cake Center in Westerly, Aaron Spalding and Felix Colon from Connecting for Children and Families in Woonsocket, and Meg Grady from Meals on Wheels. In addition to delivering thousands of meals every week, Meals on Wheels just recently opened up a food pantry in cooperation with the food bank. So we're here because we want legislators and the public to realize that food insecurity is a serious problem in Rhode Island. According to researchers at the Brown University School of Public Health, 3 out of every 10 households in Rhode Island is at risk for hunger because they can't afford adequate food. And the rates of food insecurity are even higher among households with children, Black households, and Latino households. So we are here to address this problem and make sure that everybody realizes how serious it is for low-income families. They struggle with a high cost of food and rent and the loss of critical resources that were available to them during the pandemic, particularly emergency SNAP benefits and free meals for their kids. Now, over 80,000 people receive food assistance each month at our partner organizations across the state. Before the pandemic, we were serving 50,000 people a month, and we thought that was too many. So in response to the growing need, the General Assembly allocated $3 million in ARPA funds and $550,000 in state funding to the food bank, which allowed us to increase our distribution from 12 million pounds of food to 18 million pounds of food. But we're here today to remind everybody that those funds are going to be fully expended by June of this year, and the need isn't going away. We're asking for more state funding for the food bank. We're asking for free school meals for all students in Rhode Island, and a continued investment in SNAP incentives. This is a new program that doubles the value, the buying power of SNAP recipients when they purchase fresh produce in the grocery store. We're also here today to thank those who have shown great leadership in addressing the problem of hunger and the needs of low-income families in Rhode Island. I'm pleased to announce the recipients of our award named after Dorothy Leach. As the wife of Governor Frank Leach, that's Richard Leach's phone. But we are really happy to have so many members of her family here with us. So Dottie, as she was affectionately known to us, died in April of last year. And ever since her death, we've been wanting to find a way to honor her. As her family members will tell you, Dottie was devoted to the food bank. She was on our board and our honorary board. She was a generous donor. And she came to every food bank event, even into her 90s. Dottie knew that the problem of hunger was not going to be solved in a day or a week or a year. She took the long view. She knew that we had to persist in working to end hunger over many years, even decades, in cooperation with government and business and other nonprofits. So it is really an honor today to announce the recipients of our Dorothy Leach Award, two leaders who have shown a similar long-term commitment, thank you, to the food bank and to people who face hunger in Rhode Island. Senate President Dominic Ruggiero and House Speaker Joe Shekarchi. House Speaker.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's an honor to accept this award, not only because of the great work that is being done by this organization and many of the advocates, but because it's named after Dorothy Leach, who I see Judge Leach and Judge Leach representing the Leach family, and Dorothy's daughter as well. It's an honor because she exemplified true public service. She herself wasn't an elected official, but she was more effective and did more than most elected officials have done. So take great gratitude in that and great pride. And I accept this award on behalf of the entire House of Representatives on this portion of it. I know the Senate President will be represented by, I believe, Whip Lawson as well, and I won't speak for her, but we're equally committed. We're all committed. We all understand the pain, the frustration of food insecurity. I'm going to recognize my colleagues from the General Assembly who are here, but I really want to give a shout out to Representative Justine Caldwell, who's been talking about this issue and advocating about this issue for a long time. It was with her advocacy that we increased our annual contribution to the food bank last year by over $100,000. Yes, thank you, Justine. And it was her and Teresa Tanzi who also made a very strong advocacy that there's immediate need for this. And last year we had some leftover ARPA money, and we were able to make a $3 million allocation on July 1st to the food bank to help families that need it. And I'm proud to say we did that. And this year, if we have the funds, we're going to do something similar. It's just a matter of dollars and cents. I don't know. The governor has a budget. We're going to start our hearings actually next week on it. And there is money for 6,000 needy Rhode Islanders who get subsidized lunch will now get free lunch. Excuse me, subsidized lunch, subsidized breakfast meals in school will now get free lunch or free breakfast. So as Andrew said, we're taking the long view. I wish we could wave a magic wand and solve this problem overnight, but we can't. We don't have the resources. I want to recognize my colleagues because it's a team effort in the House. Of course, we have Chairman Bennett, Representative Shawcross-Smith, I have Representative Caldwell, Chairman Casey, Representative Lombardi, Chairwoman Diaz, Chairman Abney, Chairwoman McEntee, Representative Slater. We're all here because this is an important issue. It means so much to the families that receive it, and we recognize that, and we know what it's like. We hear from our constituents, we hear from our colleagues in government. It's not easy, and I want to recognize the Senate because no chamber, neither the Senate or the House or the governor can do it alone. We all have to work together, and we have a good working relationship because we care. We care about getting good things done, And it's not easy. We don't always see eye to eye. Believe me, we don't. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, we all want to do one thing, the same thing, which is to make Rhode Island better. And by supporting this program and programs like this, we accomplish that goal. The award is in memory of the late First Lady Dorothy Leach, especially meaningful. She was an ardent supporter of the food bank. As many of you know, one of my top priorities since I became Speaker is housing. All positive incomes start with housing. A safe home. Children do better in school. Adults are better prepared for their jobs. Families' physical and mental health is better when they have a stable place to live. Everyone deserves safe, stable housing that they can live and afford. And what we're seeing, sadly, is because so many families are overburdened by the housing cost, food insecurity is increasing dramatically. In fact, the food bank saw a 30% increase in 2023 versus 2022. 30% more Rhode Islanders needed to go to the food bank to get food to eat. I see Representative Spears as well, another fierce advocate. Nearly one-third of families in Rhode Island can't afford to put enough food on the table. Last year, we increased our annual funding in the state budget, as I mentioned to you before, and we made that one-time allocation of $3 million. We know that more people need it. Unfortunately, what we gave was not going to fix the problem, but we're working on it, and we will continue to work on it. Every person in Rhode Island needs enough food to feed their family. We will do our part in the General Assembly. I ask you to please keep up with your very effective advocacy. And before I conclude, I want to give a shout out to Pastor Chris from the Governor's Office. He continues to be a strong advocate for the food bank and a good partner in government. Pastor Chris, thank you, and thank you on behalf of the administration for your help. Thank you all very much, and I call up Senator Val Lawson.
Joe, don't leave without your award.
No. Thank you. I'll wait for
There it is.
Thank you.
That's yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Senator Lawson, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew, and the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. I'm grateful to be part of Food Insecurity Awareness Day and to help highlight this incredibly important issue. It's an honor to be here today to accept this award on behalf of President Ruggiero. I know he's humbled to receive it alongside with Speaker Shekarchi, and I'd like to congratulate him on behalf of the Senate. He's honored to receive this award named after Dorothy Leach, whose charitable legacy has made such a positive impact across Rhode Island. I'd also like to recognize my colleague, Senator Uzafusa, who's here today with us. In the Senate, we've consistently made food insecurity a top priority. And we're taking on the challenges every session facing working families. Fighting hunger is at the very top of that list because no one in Rhode Island should be hungry. Every family in every corner of our state should have access to affordable, nutritious food. So many senators have done important work on this issue at the State House and in their home communities. Every one of them shares this recognition as well. I would especially like to express my gratitude to the Senate President for his support for Eat Well, Be Well SNAP Incentive, a program that we launched last week. I was the proud sponsor of this legislation that led to the creation of this pilot program. It's an outstanding investment in Rhode Island's families and futures. We hope it to become a lasting example of what we can achieve by bringing people together and finding innovative solutions. With our House colleagues, it was great to see this program launch last week, had great reception, and Rhode Island is on the forefront of this program, so we need to be able to make sure that we can maintain this program. And I look forward to advocating for sustaining this program. The food bank is truly an irreplaceable resource. I know I speak for the entire Senate when I say thank you for everything you do, and I look forward to continuing to partner with the food bank as they continue to support all of Rhode Island in their need to address food insecurity. Thank you.
Thank you. And this is for
The Senate President. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of the Senate.
Thank you, Senator. And now, Deputy Director of Rhode Island Department of Human Services, Marissa Patricia.
Poor Andrew, he did a great job. Thank you for the pronunciation. It's not an easy name to spell and say, I should say. But good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marissa Patricia, the Deputy Director of Department of Human Services, and I am here on behalf of our Director, Kimberly Bordeaux, to deliver her remarks. It's a pleasure for me to join you for this important event and to continue the discussion on the issue of food insecurity in our state. First, I would like to thank Andrew for inviting DHS to be here today and thank him for his ongoing advocacy and partnership. I would also like to recognize both Speaker Sicarci and Senate President Ruggiero, and I don't know if Senator Lawson just left, but I would also just like to give her a special thanks for your leadership on the SNAP Eat Well, Be Well program. In addition, I would like to recognize Kate Brewster and express my sincere appreciation for her hard work and leadership around this critical issue. It might not come as a surprise to many of you in this room today, but according to the Rhode Island Food Policy Council, nearly 12% of Rhode Island households were considered food insecure between 2001 and 2022. But we need to make sure the rest of our state is aware and that we are taking aggressive action to bring about important change. It's well known that without proper food and nutrition, the door is wide open for an array of troubling problems, such as a decline in health and wellness, developmental disabilities, an inability to succeed at school or work, and an increase in health disparities, just to name a few. Through the work of those in this room today and elsewhere, we have a committed team hard at work in the community, here at the State House, in our schools, community centers, and beyond. We need to engage more, and we know more still needs to be done. I am pleased to stand before you today and share that just last week, DHS, along with its partners, officially launched the SNAP Eat Well, Be Well pilot incentive program. This program represents the tireless work of so many, including our General Assembly, the Governor's Office, and our amazing new retail partners, Stop and Shop and Walmart. For those who aren't familiar with how this program works, it's really simple. For any SNAP-eligible individual who shops at either Stop and Shop or Walmart, for every dollar spent on most fruits and vegetables, they will receive a 50-cent incentive on their EBT card, up to $25 a month. It is our hope that this will help encourage healthier shopping and better and more nutritious meals will be consumed. You may have already seen some of our fun and colorful advertising. If you haven't, we have some materials in the back. We have some great marketing, carrots for cash, berries for bucks, and habaneros for more dineros. And with approximately $11 million in funding, we are excited for the impact this program will have in the months ahead and how it can grow to other smaller retailers in the community. We're also helping to provide support through other ways, including the continuation of the SNAP Summer EBT program. The governor's budget recommends an increase of $419,000 in general revenue and approximately $838,000 in all funds for this important program. We must also remember that another important step to removing barriers is access. In this case, I'm talking about access to services and benefits that DHS offers to ensure those who are eligible receive them. DHS has spent a great deal of time improving access to the agency in ways that people can use without having to go to one of our offices. Thanks to our mobile app and customer portal, you can submit documents, update information, report status changes, and even complete applications. Taking this forward one more step, DHS is preparing to launch a community partner portal pilot that will allow several community-based organizations we already have close ties with to be able to offer direct customer support, further enhancing usability and overall access. Like I mentioned, we have brought some materials that are just behind the table that demonstrate the various options that we have in place to better serve customers through our resources, as well as an additional guide that helps provide information on what our customers can expect from the process with DHS once they have submitted their application. So in closing, thank you for having us here today, and for Andrew for your partnership and the Food Bank's partnership. DHS is proud of the work that we are doing together and look forward to what we accomplish in the months in the year ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. And now I'm very happy to introduce Kate Brewster from Johnny Cake Center for Hope in Peacedale.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. And thank you to the elected officials in the room, to Marissa Patricia from the Department of Human Services, which has been an outstanding partner in our work. And congratulations to Speaker Ciccacci and President Ruggiero on your well-deserved recognition. I am here representing the people in the southern part of our state who are experiencing food insecurity, because hunger is a significant and unacceptable problem in every corner of Rhode Island, including Washington County. 2 years ago, we saw in real time the positive impact that public policies can have fighting hunger. To combat the effects of the pandemic, lawmakers in Washington made school lunch free for all children, raised SNAP benefits, and increased the child tax credit. Almost immediately, visits to our food pantry dropped by 40%. Unfortunately, those policies were temporary, and as soon as they expired, visits to pantries across the state began to creep back up. By the end of 2023, food pantry visits at the Johnny Cake Center had doubled compared to 2021. Today, households are overwhelmed by the stubbornly high cost of food, utilities, and what just a few years ago would have been unimaginable housing costs. For many, food pantries are no longer an emergency resource when times get tight, but a vital source of nutrition for tens of thousands of Rhode Islanders. Last year, the Johnny Cake Center provided food to close to 2,000 individuals through 7,600 visits to our pantry. 225 families, comprised of more than 430 people, signed up with us for the first time. People like Sarah and Rich, a married couple with 4 children, both of whom work full-time for reputable companies. Their rent has made it all but impossible for them to make ends meet, and rather than donating to the center like they used to, they now find themselves using it. None of the food pantries across the state could manage without the support of the Rhode Island Community Food Bank. Thank you, Andrew, for your outstanding work. And we thank the General Assembly We thank the General Assembly and Governor McKee for your past and future support of the food bank. In addition to supporting them with direct dollars, we also strongly encourage lawmakers to enact policies that ensure all children are getting a healthy breakfast and lunch at school, that stretch SNAP dollars through programs like Eat Well, Be Well, and strengthen the economic security of households through tax credits and other government programs. We need to continue to put in place policies that provide permanent solutions to ending hunger. Thank you all for everything you are doing to make that goal a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate, Marissa, and to Senator Lawson, to House Speaker for being with us today and speaking on behalf of this issue. We are now going to go as a group over to the entrance to the House chamber, where we're going to greet representatives as they enter the chamber and remind them why we're wearing these buttons and why we're here today. There are also fantastic snacks. This is one, we have a public policy committee at the food bank. Darrell Brown is here, who's a member of that committee, and one of their strongest recommendations was snacks. And this is something that the food bank is really good at. So enjoy the snacks over by the entrance to the house, and I just want to thank other reps who are here.